Alright, so, hey, it's Thomas and Andrew, and we're from the Home Services Powerhouse team. And so what's going to happen today, we're going to talk to Andrew from Solar Smart Living about solar and all the benefits, and then I think we're going to get a walk around the shop too a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll see, check out the warehouse, just kind of give you a little bit of a rundown of where we're at.
Cool. So, I mean, everybody hears about solar and how good it is for the house, and we're going to get, our electric bill is going to go down, and you will have a secure payment. So, why don't you start us off? Tell us about it.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, really on that note, we're living in, the borderland here where we're getting a lot of sun. In Paso, you're getting around 310 days of sun a year. In Las Cruces, it's a little bit higher.
Right.
So it only makes sense that this is becoming more of a popular thing, especially with technology where it is, and just how the breakdown between financials, can work out. And in fact, the way we met was through you were interested in solar and you reached out to the company, right?
Right.
And I actually come over and I helped you out and we did an analysis on your home.
Right.
But there are a number of things, right, that you want to consider when you're thinking about going solar.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure. How did you hear about Solar Smart Living?
I didn't hear about Solar Smart Living specifically. My wife kept pushing me. They're like, we got to get solar, and then actually through mutual contacts through B&I.
Oh, okay, wonderful. What I always like to impress on people is to really look into the companies, right? It goes beyond just the materials themselves. And so a little bit about Solar Smart Living, kind of give you a little bit of background. We are locally headquartered. We only operate here on the El Paso electric grid. And so we cover everything as a little bit further than the horizon to the east. And then going west, obviously all of El Paso, Santa Teresa, where our headquarters actually is. We have a shop on the east side on Joe Battle, and then we have another shop in Las Cruces. And so we do Santa Teresa as well, Anthony, and then Las Cruces. And so we're truly local, which I think really does make a massive difference because there is no corporate office located anywhere else, and we're truly the decision makers here. And in addition to that, we're a little bit more invested because of that. This really is our backyard, our community here, right? That we want to take care of, that we want to be proud of our work. So it's just a little bit added accountability. And being that we are, we've been here for 12 going on 13 years, I mean, we have that experience to back it up. Our installation team is completely in-house. So we're not subcontracting out any of our work. And that really does provide even more comfort to anyone who's purchasing solar. They know, hey, I'm working with Andrew for the presentation and the sales component. He's going to be kind of the go-to person. But Solar Smart Living as a whole is the one that's going to be doing the installation. I don't have to worry about some third party that might get in an argument with Solar Smart Living over work that was done or the contract. It really is just a one-stop shop, which is really great for work. And then, in addition to that, a little bit on how Solar Smart Living got started. We're the oldest headquartered solar company here, and the reason for that is because our owner, Larry Correa, back in 2007, wanted to put solar on his roof.
Right.
And he's got an engineering background, and nobody was able to do it for him. There was no company here.
Wow.
And so he decided, I'm going to do it myself. Yeah. So he put solar on his house. One thing led to another. Other people started getting interested. And he thought, wow, this could be a full-time business. Let's do this. Yeah. So he jumped right in. Yeah, it's super exciting.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so a few questions I get are just really like, why do I want to go solar? And we mentioned that there's so much sun here. Paso in the borderland, right? It's a little bit more than that, right? We do have to factor in some other factors like the rate structure, the equipment that we're using, and also the consumption. So solar isn't for everybody, and in fact, usually what I like to do first is try to figure out why somebody should not go solar. Right. It's one of the things I talk about the most. At B&I, when I stand up there, I always tell people, hey, look, if solar isn't right for somebody, I will try to do my best to talk them out of it. because I don't want, and Solar Smart Living doesn't want, a bunch of unhappy customers who feel like they've just been tricked into solar, or that we've been peer pressuring them. That's not us.
Right.
There are a lot of companies out there that are just, they got a bunch of salespeople pushing to make that deal.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's not for the best. It's not the best for our community. It's not the best for the customer, and it's not even good for the business long term, right? Because then there's that sour taste in the customer's mouth, and that the word gets out.
Yeah.
So, a couple reasons why you shouldn't go solar.
Probably not what you thought you were going to get.
Right, yeah, let's just address them right away. Number one, solar's a long-term investment, right? I mean, it's not, you're not going to get solar for $5, right? It is, right. Even with the zero down financing, super low interest rates, it's still a long-term investment. And so, if you're thinking that you're going to be moving in like just the next couple of years, I usually don't recommend it. If you're going to be renting the house out, sure, maybe let's think about it, get a really small system to make the house appealing to potential renters in the future. But if you know you're just going to make a quick break and sell the home, don't think that solar is going to be something that you put $20,000 in one day and then get it out within the year, right? It is a depreciating asset, just like a car or a pool in many ways. The difference being, of course, that it does produce value along the way. But you want to make sure that the entry point is right, and so we got to take a look at that, which is what we did when we were doing the analysis with your home. Right. And we crunched out the numbers, took a look at the consumption history, and we went month by month to see what would the solar panels create, would it add value, is it going to make sense in the first year or two? I think we had that conversation. It was like, hey, look, please don't move right away just because I'm worried that you're not going to be able to get everything out. But if you're here for 5-10 years, more, this is a fantastic investment because instead of it's kind of like the difference between renting and owning, right? If you're renting a home, the rate, mortgage, not the mortgage, the rent might go up, year over year. And similarly with electricity, you're renting a piece of that power couple, right? So they might raise rates on you, and then year over year the electricity goes up, and that does happen, right? But with solar, if you're producing your electricity from your own panels and you're locking in the rate because you finance the panels, then you know exactly how much electricity the panels are producing, and you know how much you're paying for it. Right. And when El Paso Electric raises the rates, if you offset all of it, then you know exactly what you're at. It's a fixed price. Right. If like in the case in Texas, there's a small minimum that El Paso Electric still wants to get their cut to maintain the grid and whatnot, then that portion might go up a little bit. It just depends on how much electricity you're offsetting. Right. So we really need to break down those numbers, figure it out.
I think that was the most impressive part about learning about solar is I gave my electric bill over to you, and then you came in and, like you said, month by month breakdown. This is what your electric bill is going to be in this month, and this is what it's going to be in this month and this month. And I was blown away by that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love being able to dive into those numbers. I mean, I do kind of have a numbers background, and so I enjoy that piece of it. Yeah. And I try to see where it will work, right? I try to stress test the system. Hey, what happens if somebody moves out of the house? Like, what happens if you have a bunch of kids and grandma moves out and the kids go off to college and it's only 2 people in the home? Yeah. Well, are you going to use the same amount of electricity? Well, let's think about that before we put solar panels in this long-term investment, right, on the roof. Maybe the person will want to move. Maybe they're just going to be using less electricity. So all these kind of factors, come into play. And these are the questions that, if somebody's thinking about solar, their solar consultant, their energy consultant, the salesperson that's meeting them, those are the questions you should be looking for and listening for to know, hey, is this person actually thinking, is this in my best interest now, or are they just trying to push this on me? So, just things to look out for. Let's see, what other reasons for not solar? Really quickly, just 1 or 2. Shade. If you have a bunch of trees around the house, and simply put, there's no sunlight hitting the roof, then it doesn't matter how many solar panels are out there. They're just not going to be able to produce enough electricity to offset the cost going in, right? And then the last one is just consumption, okay? So in El Paso, because of the rates, remember it's not just about the sunlight, it's not just about the equipment, it's how much is El Paso Electric going to, basically repay you for the extra money that's sent to the grid during the day that you're not using. Because of the rate structure, generally I recommend around 110, 120. That's usually when things start really clicking in El Paso, where I can say right away, this makes sense, this will right off the bat save you some money on a month-to-month basis. Right. And if it's less than that, then you still have a $10, $20 window where if you're looking at it from the long term, it might still make sense. And you might be able to get that equity out, which is better than paying rent and never seeing that money ever again. Right. So there's some leeway there. You have to be careful when it comes to that. But anything over $120 per month on average in El Paso, it almost always makes a good amount of sense. I mean, there are obviously some cases where it doesn't. But
are there any types of roof construction that you're not able to work with, or maybe it just doesn't make sense for solar to be on that specific style of roof? Or
yeah, so there are some regulations that we kind of have to work with from a permitting standpoint. And so if a house has just so many pitches, and I know we've all seen them, the roofs that we look at and go like, wow, I'm glad I'm not a roofer working on that house, because that would be so difficult. When you have a bunch of different faces, there's really no place to put the solar. So you do have to kind of be aware of that going in. And I have seen that before, where somebody will try to sell a really large solar panel system to a home where there's no place to actually put the solar panels because they need a foot and a half here and there of space for fire code and whatnot. So you got to be careful about that. But other than that, we do flat roofs. And we don't do ballasted systems just because over the long run, they're going to actually sink the roof just a little bit in that spot, creates pools of water, collects water, and then that leads to damage over time. So we don't do ballasted systems. We really don't like those, especially with the high winds here. But we do penetrate. We pre-drill the holes so it doesn't split the wood. I can't believe I'm saying that, but we have found that there are a number of providers and sellers that just decide, let's just drill right away. Let's just quickly get this attached and move on to the next one. And unfortunately, that's not something that's going to be good for their company long term. But we're here to stay, so take the time, re-drill the holes, use the high-spray silicone and sealant that we can find to plug everything up. Then you put the flange over that, and then you have a system that's there to last and can withstand the winds and elements here. And we also do tile roofs, but we don't do the old brittle Spanish tile. I mean, that's a serious investment into your aesthetics for your roof, and we just don't want to play around on that because it does get super expensive. It's very easy to break, and it's just a few extra steps that need to be taken, so we don't mess with that. But any relatively new tile, piece of cake. We work with that all the time.
How long, so let's say you convince me and I say, let's do it. And how long between that point and I get installation on the roof?
Right, so at the end of the day, it really just comes down to when is our next availability for our installation. Okay. And I love that you said that. Right now we are here at our headquarters in Santa Teresa. And this is also where our warehouse is, where we keep everything in stock. And so I was showing you a little bit earlier, but let's go take a quick peek at the warehouse. Okay. And I'll show you what we've got. Cool.
Let me separate this up for a second. Hold on. I might need your help
the keyboard is magnets. It just should pop right off. A good pull.
Okay, good.
Yeah, don't be All right. All right. Come on back.
Hold on, something's happening. There we go. Gotcha. I got a beep going on here.
Hold on. Let me go grab my phone. Sorry, I think the hotspot was a little
too far away.
All right, so back here, welcome to our warehouse. This is where we pre-order our panels and we keep them in stock ready to go. And so where some other companies, when they make the deal, they have to go out and buy the panels, and they have to have them shipped from their distributor. What we do is we pre-order the panels. We've got different manufacturers bidding for the lowest price, so we could then pass that on to our customers. But we've got high quality tier 1 panels, 25-year warranties. These ones are our latest and greatest. They just came in. Q cells, engineered in Germany, manufactured in the USA here. And so, as you can kind of tell, we've got quite a few, and so we are perfectly okay. If our installation team is free up in 2 weeks, we're ready to go. We're ready to roll.
Man.
Yeah, and generally, I'd say most of our installs are done, completed. Well, first off, on the roof in about 2 to 4 weeks. I would say that's the average, because depending on the season. How many people we have working versus how many sales the whole team is making. And then it usually takes another week and a half for the city inspector to come out, and then another week or so for El Paso Electric to come out and do their inspection as well. So tack on 2 weeks there. It'd be anywhere between 3 weeks and maybe like 5 or 6, but that's just about the average, depending on time of year. And then
cool.
I think that's enough to see here. We'll actually work our way back out. Show you a quick little beautiful view from the parking lot. Take a look at the Franklin Mountains. We got a couple of our trucks here. Say
the whole fleet out here.
Half of the fleet is out working today, of course.
The mountains in the background. Look at that. Very, very cool.
Yeah. But it's been good. Let's get back into the AC.
Awesome.
And actually, this big room, in addition to solar, we do also do some mini splits, as well as electric heat pumps for pools.
Go ahead.
And so we've got 2 mini splits in this giant space. And it was pushing 85 to 90 before, and I turned them on, and everything was cool within about
Yeah, look how
10
big
minutes.
this
It's super great.
big this room is.
Yeah.
It's keeping it
It's got to be like 40 by
nice.
40. Yeah.
Yeah.
But super efficient.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it. Do you have any other follow-up questions?
Yeah, maybe any other products that you guys are also working with? I know you mentioned the mini splits. I think there was a pool heater or something.
Yeah, we've got electric pool heaters, the heat pumps, and those are super cool. They're electric, so when we're factoring it in, same thing with the mini splits here. They're electric as well, just because our vision, at the end of the day, is to provide sustainable solutions for the home, and try to wrap everything under that solar kind of umbrella where you're getting electricity from the sun and sustainable. So the heat pumps for the pool, super efficient to the point where to run it for an hour costs about 70 cents, whereas an equivalent size heat pump that's run on gas will cost anywhere from $3 to $4.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking massive savings.
Right.
In the long run there. And then for the mini splits, what's so great about these is they don't have that massive spool-up charge that the larger central air units have. And they're also, of course, super efficient and just direct, because there's no ventilation that's going through the house where the heat could be absorbed through the attic or something before it gets to the room. This is just ductless heating and cooling. And so that's why we love them as well. Plus, it's Mitsubishi, and we're a Diamond dealer for them, so we've got a 12-year warranty on them, which is super nice.
Awesome. Well, I think last thing from me is I always see these ads and stuff like that are like, let's completely erase your electric bill, and
Right.
tell me about that.
Oh my God. Okay, so in El Paso, I've been seeing this a lot. Someone will be talking about erasing the electric bill here in Texas. Clearly, though, speaking just about El Paso and the electric company, but they've got a $30 minimum. So it's extremely unlikely that you're going to eliminate your entire electric bill from solar in El Paso. We can still create great savings, but more likely than not, we're not going to be able to get you down to $0. And so I really hate it when somebody comes in the door saying, let's eliminate that electric bill, and then just kind of doesn't talk about, in fact, we still have a little bit going on El Paso Electric, so they can maintain the grid and whatnot. That's just the rate structure. In Las Cruces, it is a little different story as of now. I mean, El Paso Electric did just get bought out by an investment vehicle from JP Morgan, and so we don't know how long the rates will be the way that they are. But as of now, we could offset everything in Las Cruces or in Santa Teresa with Anthony. We can go over, up to 120% reduction in terms of last year's consumption. We really get them down to zero. And then on top of that, they also have in New Mexico a 15% income, 10% income tax credit, a state income tax credit, which is on top of the federal 26% income tax credit you get here in El Paso as well as in New Mexico.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's good stuff. But you just gotta kind of crunch the numbers and look into it. And I'm always happy to show customers what we're looking at. And if it, like I said before, if it doesn't make sense, I show them that too. So.
Yeah. Well, how do they get in contact with you?
Yeah. So feel free to message me right through the page, Andrew with Solar Smart Living on the Facebook page, or my email, andrew@solarsmartliving.com. And if you want to, send me a text message, we've got that too. You can check out Facebook, and those numbers are on there as well.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all from us over here at the Home Services Powerhouse. Andrew, we appreciate you sharing a little bit about solar with us.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out, Thomas. Really appreciate it. Be well, everybody.
All right. Take care.